fairly sound. And finally, Sudbury's Northern Lights Festival Boreal is announcing its headliners for the 45th anniversary this summer. East Coast fiddlers Natalie McMaster and Donald Leahy lead this lineup. They're described as the first couple of contemporary Celtic music. Another husband and wife duo, this time from Sudbury, are also performing. Kate Mackey and Fred Squire return to the festival this year. They both have new albums set to launch. Francophone songwriters Melanie Brûlé and Annick Granger will also appear for the first time. This festival will take place at Bell Park July the 8th through the 10th. And that is the CBC News to this hour. Thank you for listening. I'm Jessica Pope. Marcus Schwabe standing outside this first day of March, a long way from July just yet.
Yeah, I don't know. In like a lion, out like a lamb. Is this a lion, this weather that we're having?
We've had some pretty wicked snow this week, and it's cold this morning.
It is definitely cold, below normal for this time of year. Plenty of shoveling this week. We're looking at temperatures to stay below. The normal high for Sudbury would be about -3, and we're looking at a high of -8 today, -11 tomorrow. Today, cloudy, chance of a flurry, slight chance for most areas, but we do have some light snow in Sault Ste. Marie this morning. Moosonee already reporting some light snow. Temperatures for most of the north from -12 to -8, but even colder from Timmins to the James Bay coast, -14 to -19 for your high in the far north. Tomorrow should be sunny across the northeast with temperatures from -18 up to -9 degrees. And a note for anyone who may be traveling south, there is a winter storm warning for Barrie down through Toronto and further south. They're talking about 15 to 25 centimeters of snow starting later this morning. Heaviest snowfall may be tonight, and Environment Canada is warning people to avoid travel to the south if possible. So winter storm warning for the south. Here in the north, we've got cloud, -17 in Wawa, Chapleau -19, Sault Ste. Marie and Gore Bay, the mildest in the north at -12. In North Bay, it's -20, Earlton -25 degrees, Kirkland Lake -29, Timmins cloudy -24, Kapuskasing and Hearst both -23, and in Moosonee, light snow this morning, -28. Toronto's cloudy for now, -9 degrees. Thunder Bay's mainly clear at -22. Here in Sudbury, it's cloudy, -19. Forecast high for today is -8. Coming up in this half hour, our report from Ottawa, and we are also expecting a call from Tony Clement, MP for Parry Sound, Muskoka, for listeners in the southern part of our listening area who are in that riding. We're going to check in with your MP, we hope, this half hour. First, we've got a sports update from the CBC's Scott Regier.
Good morning. Ottawa hosts St. Louis in one of 9 NHL games tonight. The Senators have postseason aspirations, while the majority of Canadian teams sold veterans for future assets at yesterday's NHL trade deadline. Ottawa is 6 points behind Pittsburgh for the second wildcard spot in the East. There are 4 other Canadian teams hitting the ice tonight. The Boston Bruins welcome Calgary. Edmonton is in Buffalo to face the Sabres in a matchup that will feature super rookies Jack Eichel and Connor McDavid. As well, the Islanders continue their West Coast swing with a stop in Vancouver, and the Jets are home to the Florida Panthers. Last night, Joe Thornton and Brett Burns each had 3 points for San Jose in a 6-2 win over Montreal, and in the other 2 games featuring Canadian teams, Toronto dropped a 2-1 decision against Tampa, and Calgary fell 5-3 against Philadelphia. Moving over to basketball, in the NBA, the league-leading Warriors put their home unbeaten streak on the line tonight against Atlanta. Golden State is 24-0 at the Oracle Arena this season and have won 42 in a row dating back to last season. The Warriors are within 2 home victories of matching the Chicago Bulls' NBA record home winning streak of 44 games set back in 1995 and 1996. LeBron James scored 33 points for the Cavaliers last night as they padded their lead in the standings with a 100-96 win over the Pacers. Cleveland now has a 2.5 game edge on the Raptors for first place in the Eastern Conference. Toronto is idle until tomorrow night when the Raptors welcome Utah. Pretty cool initiative getting underway today, being spearheaded by one of Canada's top Olympians. Heptathlete Brianne Tyson-Eaton and her husband, American decathlete Ashton Eaton, have started up the hashtag What's Your Gold challenge. They are asking asking people to share their own journeys towards a personal goal. Maybe it's running a marathon, or starting a business, or perhaps it's fostering a shelter animal. Participants will submit a series of 4 social media posts anytime starting today through June 1st, documenting their journey. The first post should describe a goal, the next a struggle, then a breakthrough, and finally an outcome. I spoke with Tyson Eaton about it.
Every year I'm making a new goal, or a new goal that I'm trying to achieve. There's ones that come every 4 years, which is, okay, I'm going to make the Olympics and try to win the Olympic gold medal. And then there's the annual ones that I make. I know from experience that every single one I make is there's always a struggle and there's always a breakthrough. So we just want people to understand that you're going to go into this, you're going to experience each one of those, and it's the way you go through it, how you accept it, how you decide to move past it, maybe a lesson you learned from the struggle and the breakthrough that can help you in the future.
The winner of the hashtag What's Your Goal challenge will win a trip for 2 to the Rio Olympics to see Brianne and Ashton compete in the heptathlon and the decathlon. To get involved, submit an image, text, or video, or a combination of the 3, to hashtag What's Your Goal. For more information on that, you can go to my Twitter at Scott Revere. That's sports.
And you're listening to Morning North on CBC Radio 1 in Northern Ontario. I'm Marcus Schwabi in our Sudbury studios. World Report is coming up at 8 o'clock. Before we get there, we're talking federal politics this week. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau will be in Vancouver to talk climate change with Indigenous leaders and the premiers. Now, Trudeau made a commitment to hold a First Ministers meeting within 90 days of December's climate conference in Paris. Now, since then, the Canadian economy has been struggling, so that means achieving consensus on a national climate strategy may be challenging. To talk about maybe facing Trudeau in the week ahead, we've reached Elizabeth Thompson. She's a senior writer at iPolitics.ca, and she's in our Ottawa studio this morning. Hello, Elizabeth. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Excellent. So what exactly is the Prime Minister hoping to achieve at this meeting?
Well, as said, they promised they would have a meeting within 90 days, and they made a pretty big promise to the world to reduce greenhouse gases, fight climate change. Now they've got to find a way to keep that promise. And, the federal government can only do so much. They also need the provinces to be on board with this as well, although it can be argued that, before the last election, the provinces were doing more about this than the federal government actually was. But they're heading into the meeting. To a certain extent, the Prime Minister's office is managing expectations. I was talking with someone there yesterday, and they were pointing out that there'll be 14 different people around the table with 14 different situations and agendas. The goal for this meeting might be as modest as setting up working groups on climate change and giving them 6 months to come up with more concrete solutions. And they'll probably talk
a meeting to plan to meet again? Is that it?
Well, you can't, if you're going to come up with something concrete, unless there's been a lot more prep work done by the officials than probably has been done, you're probably, the nitty gritty of how exactly you do this, to a certain extent it'll be, committees meeting to come up with more concrete solutions is one of the things that are coming about. But